1.
2.
3.
So I've gotten the boys that you know for covering Ghost Game to come in and talk about the sort of Ghost Game Evos. Now, a lot of people are probably going to be like, wait, where's Lamormon? Where's Thetismon? They all technically got revealed in 2021, so you can go watch the last video. So we're going to start with Bombmon, Gillywhumon, and Fumamon. What are your boys' thoughts?
Karn, I know you love the ninja. Is it Fumamon? That's right.
He's pretty good. So here's my thing. We don't have any other ninja that isn't like a bird or something apart from Egamon, who looks, like Danny DeVito.
Okay, I'll give it quick. It's fine. It's very safe.
It's very safe.
Yeah.
I would say a B. That's where I'm feeling.
I can get behind that.
I think it's the favorite of the 3 that aren't going to be in Ghost Game for me, for sure. It's too bad that the fusion thing never happened, or likely isn't going to happen, because I remember some people thinking perhaps it was like a Ryudomon blend with Gammamon or something.
But yeah, so I think Fumamon B probably works for me. So then is Bombmon, which is the sort of trickster guy. Something I do like about all of these is they're kind of like fulfilling like party roles, I guess, which is interesting. Or like a squadron kind of vibe to them, but yeah,
Bombmon, a little too cartoony for me. Does that make sense?
See, I like the design.
Bomber now?
Bombmon, yeah.
Yeah, I take it back. I think this key art is kind of dope.
I think it's very interesting, yeah.
Something that I think about with the Gammamon evolutions, I don't know if I'm just this is just my headcanon or I'm fan casting or whatever, but I feel like each of these evolutions represents like a bit of the Gammamon's history. I think the Gilead one kind of reminds me of something like Siriusmon from episode 13. Yeah. That whole sniper character that initiated the Ghoulish Gammamon transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And then Somethingmon has kind of that, to me, a little bit of like the Mummymon aesthetic.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I like that.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I don't know if that's just me projecting, like, in a desperate attempt to add story to Ghost Game.
I've had similar thoughts about, like, perhaps these are... People aren't familiar. It's pretty much been confirmed due to, like, a TCG leaker that these are forms for Gammamon, but they're not going to be in Ghost Game. And I almost wonder if this is, like, some scrapped, like, Ghoulish Gammamon Generals idea or something, because that's like kind of how it feels.
Yeah, maybe they might have actually just had these originally and thought, oh well, actually black variants of pre-existing popular Digimon would go down better. I can actually see that. Yeah,
but I think that's the main problem why I'd struggle. I can only suggest to rank these on design, because technically we have no. Like, oh, that's going to make for a cool Evo. That's going to make for a cool episode because they've kind of cut their balls off by not putting them in the show.
This is an aside, but I could totally see them being those ominous Digimon standing above in all the Ghoulish scenes, like when it was
Black
Gargamon and Black Growlmon. That probably was the better choice because it was kind of hype. But these guys all look like they could be standing there ominously above in all of those scenes, especially the Gillywhumon.
Yeah, I would say so. For me, ranking-wise, I would say Bombmon is probably...
Yeah, they all come across like very mercenary, military-esque.
Yes, and they're like I say, they're all kind of like this is like a bombs expert. This is like a sniper, and this is a
and how Ghoulish Gammamon is like outrightly evil. He's just like a very aggressively like implements his own will on others. Is kind of like a very mercenary thing to do.
I could definitely see him having like his little group of guys,
like a death squad type thing.
But sort of design-wise, for me, Bombmon, I would say is B, verging on A. I would be comfortable with him sort of just on design alone, being around kind of the new century Digimon.
My feeling is C, so maybe Bombmon B.
Yeah, I was kind of a B or a C, to be honest, but it's your videos.
I'd be comfortable putting him below Fumamon. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, go with that. Yeah, take that.
Okay.
I'll take that.
All right. And then there's Gillywhumon, who is my absolute favorite of these 3.
Yeah, I adore him. I really like that. I really like that one. I'm not gonna lie. I just think it's like really, I don't know, it's kind of creative. Like, I just think especially with the links to Gammamon as well, you can totally see why that would be like an evolution of Gammamon in some way.
Right.
But also, like, many other things can also evolve into it. It can evolve into many other things as well, like more weaponized, like Digimon.
Yeah.
It could go into like the more like metal family or like nature family or like, I don't know. It's just a very like interlinking design, and I think this whole ghillie suit idea of the Digimon's like really cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, he rocks. He's A or even potentially S for me.
I agree.
Yeah, I am gonna. He also reminds me of this might be a slightly weird pull. I think Corey will get it, but the Mushroom 13 from Kingdom Hearts 2. And I think he'd be good as like a Vulturemon Prevo as well from the Titan of Dust dim card.
Yeah, totally. With just like weapon stuff.
But yeah, so I'm going to throw that boy in S.
Yeah, if it's true that these guys. If it's true that these guys aren't showing up in Ghost Game, that makes me very sad.
Yeah, that's what kind of stops it from being like S off the charts. You know?
I suppose if it was going to be like a weekly villain, it would kind of have a very similar vibe to Siriusmon, though, right? Like the assassin hiding in the shadows type. It's already kind of been done, so I get it. But
then
it's kind of sad.
I think it could also be like...
I would have minded that instead of Siriusmon, really.
I think it could have also maybe gone a different way and been more of like a sort of like clumsy sniper. I could almost get those vibes from it too, where it's like...
like more jokey.
Yeah, like Mr. Magooing it up and stuff, like tripping over its own gun and shit. So then comes to, I would say, probably the most divisive new Digimon, and that's Espimon.
Is it divisive?
There's people who really don't know how they feel about the design. They're like...
Really?
Yeah, and also, like, obviously, because he's kind of come into the show but isn't a partner, people are like, what is he doing? Like, what's his thing?
Yeah. The show made me like him less. It's not necessarily fair. Just because he's doing nothing. Like, the debut was great. The first Espimon episode I thought rocked, and it was really cool to see how they showcased the design. Like, he would do these little transformations, and his jet in combat... He made a lot of sense to me, like design-wise.
Yeah.
But now he's just like a party guest who won't leave.
So true. Like Espimon's debut was so good because you really felt like he had that kind of auxiliary support role in like the combating the ghosts of the week. I kind of hope, like, that feeling just hasn't really come around again for a while, but I kind of hope with Hover Espimon, if it does come to fruition at some point, whenever that may be, it will be that kind of like Espimon's going to be the hero moment sort of thing. Like, in fact, I'm actually shocked that Ryudamon evolved before Espimon.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
I'm actually shocked at that, and like that was kind of how IMO. It was a little bit random, a little bit, especially with Espimon having not evolved yet. But yeah, Espimon, I'm surprised people, by design exclusively, I'm surprised people don't even remotely get why it's good. So I
get why it's good. I guess it's like it's a little bit more out there. Some people, when it first came out, were saying like it felt like more of a Appmon or sort of like later Cross Wars Digimon, and I can kind of see that. I think it's nice and unique is something that I like about it. I always like when we get a rookie that isn't just another dragon or another fish, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People, it's just like the really quirkiness. I don't something very simple. So, for example, like Sharpmon's considered like quite loved by many people because it's a very simple dragon. But for some reason, like a rock and roll, like mic stand microphone, that's really cool. And I think with Espimon, and like with Espimon, it's the gummy bear, but in a spaceman suit. And like that's the same for me, so I get the same vibe of Espimon personally.
I don't think he was technically like the 25th anniversary Digimon or anything, right? But the timing was weird, where it kind of felt like he was supposed to be. And people obviously get annoyed at me when I compare stuff, but like Zubamon was the 20th anniversary. And I think that design rocks. Am I correct that Huckmon was like technically the 15th anniversary Digimon?
Maybe, yeah.
I think it was, but so it's not even a fair comparison because I don't think Espimon ever was considered the official like 25th anniversary mascot. But in terms of hyping up what it was supposed to be, I don't know. It was a weird little period there when we knew that like leak about Espimon or Ryudamon were coming. We knew the name before we knew the design. I think.
Yeah.
And then so when he did show up, I thought he was okay.
Yeah, I would have liked maybe for them, because it does feel weird that we just never got a 25th anniversary Digimon. And like, you know, his little like spaceman theme, if they'd have thrown like a 25 or something on there just to kind of like maybe tie that in.
That would have been cool, yeah.
I would say
like numbers on Metal Garurumon.
Yeah, or like Zubamon
Yeah.
has like 20 on his blade. I would say he's like low A for me, just because his design's really good, but he does represent a lot of disappointment.
Yeah, well, it has like negative feelings attached towards
Yeah.
Espimon, which is a shame, which is a huge shame, because it could have been. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Hover Espimon's like the kind of comeback story of like how people feel towards Espimon. But yeah, I can agree with like high B, low A. I can agree with that.
Yeah. You feeling that same thing, Corey?
Yeah, I wouldn't do A personally. I think B
High B.
is the highest I would go.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm like between here and like, because the problem with the tier list is you can't put something all the way down here. Like,
Yeah.
so I'd go high B, but it has the chance of going to there for me.
Yeah, true.
So Base was saying that Hover Espimon might represent some promise. I have started to like this Digimon less and less the more it's just been sat there as an image.
How can you not like the fat hands Hover Espimon?
I think him being a hovercraft is really funny, and that's about all I can say for him.
I don't know. I think it leans so much into the spaceship gimmick that I'm just like, it's fun.
It's
That's about
definitely
it.
fun. It's definitely fun. That's about
It's
all
fun,
I can say too.
and that's about it, right?
Yeah. Corey?
Yeah, I haven't given much thought into this Digimon at all. Like, I think I saw it once and just moved on. It's very busy. I like that the back little jet propulsion things kind of have like the Mega Gargamon base. You know how he has those little rocket launchers on his shoulders?
Yeah.
There's kind of something similar going on here with Hover Espimon, so that's cool. I don't know, it would be a C for me.
Yeah, I feel like I'm seeing it too.
I'd say top C.
Yeah, sure. Better than Fanglongmon Ruin Mode. So that brings us to Diabitmon and Amphimon. We'll put Amphimon to the side because I know Base's gonna have some.
I'm rubbing my hands for this one.
Diabitmon does have card art now. I believe if you, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but if you search into Twitter, if people haven't, I'll put it up on screen.
I think the card art is what won me over for this design. I already liked what I had been seeing, but when we got the close up and realized it's not just an armor suit or a knight, and is more like a 19th century military commander, I think that it's so cool and unique.
It also redeemed Angoramon a lot for me because I really liked Simbare Angoramon and found Lamormon interesting, but ultimately like nothing really came of the potential, I guess.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they even went with Lamont. In a way, I kind of think they just do that for the sake of, well, it looks like other Digimon can evolve into it.
Yeah, maybe.
Rather than like trying to keep it too linear. Like, cause I can't understand why they really. I mean, I understand Digimon's not linear, but like, if you're gonna have like Angoramon, Jinbei Angoramon, and its Mega Evolution all look very, very similar, why have one stick out so much in the crowd, sort of thing?
Yeah, and I feel like the whole feral thing could have been a really interesting kind of plot similar to Gulu's Gammamon or whatever, and it just kind of wasn't.
But I like his Mega for the reason that, and this isn't what I said, by the way, but someone left a comment on one of my videos like months ago about Angoramon being like the warrior poet type Digimon, and that Mega just leans like so much more into that kind of like imagery.
We also
I kind of like it.
We don't have confirmation of it or anything, but it also very much feels like, if not like an actual evolution using Zubamon, it feels like a huge callback to that episode where Simbara Angoramon wielded Zubamon.
He held the sword above the crescent moon and stuff like that.
Yeah, has context.
Like the golden elements and stuff, I think are really nice there.
I like the arc of this evolution, like the Angoramon, Jimba, like that kind of regal thing coming back after. And again, this is just us like making story where Ghost Games doesn't want to do it, but like coming back from the Berserker form into this like regal, calculated general. I think that rules.
Yeah, for me, I would say I like this a lot, but it's again like I liked Lamormon a lot more before its show debut. So I think it has the potential to be an S in context of character, but I would say just on the design, it's probably like a very high A for me right now.
Yeah. Hey, can I ask you something? What do you think about, so on the card, there's in the background a close-up of the face. and it very much is like a human face underneath that kind of rabbit mask. What do you think about that? 'Cause we've never seen, we haven't seen Angoramon as a dude yet.
It feels
just
like
a
a
guy.
bit of a kind of callback to the way that Mega Gargomon has like a kind of half dog, half human face.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm seeing an increase in these like semi-tamers references. So like I left that comment on your video, Corey, where it's like hero jumping off the last minute from Siriusmon almost feels like you thought kind of thing.
Yeah,
I feel like the Diabitmon having a much more like manly face and Amphimon going like much more humanoid is kind of a nod to the biomerge concept, but not like doing it.
I think you.
Especially with like the whole like vital bracelet resonating hearts with the Digimon kind of thing, it feels like a very like taking on human elements. But yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting. I'm sometimes I get a bit disappointed when everyone's megas end up humanoid. But I feel like it works for this very
It feels right this time.
So yeah, I'm gonna go high A for Diabitmon.
That's fair.
Yeah, it works for me.
And then is Amphimon, base to take the floor.
Just big scuba dive mech woman girl boss. Let's go S tier.
There we go, easy. No. Yeah, I really like Amphimon, and I've not been super comfortable with the whole Jellymon thing. You know, I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum, but some of it freaks me out. And this felt like kind of like I felt a little bit of indication that they didn't go like, you know, Rosemon-esque with this.
I kind of like that lead into the mech stuff though, because it feels like throughout the evolutions and stuff, and she's so like technologically inclined, even as Jellymon with like the internet and stuff.
Yeah,
it just seems like the natural progression for her, really, instead of like leading into like the ultra feminine, like petite type design. Let's just go all butch with it. Let's go butch. Like that's cool. I think that's really cool.
And with the Rosemon talk and Lilymon and stuff like that, it's like with Tesla Jellymon, you kind of got that Lilymon vibe of like the playful, cute thing, and then Tedismon kind of fulfills the Rosemon or like Angoramon thing of giant woman. But then it's like, well, where do we go from here? Do we make her more just anime waifu, or do we go giant mech? And I'm so glad that they chose giant mech. That I think is awesome.
100%.
Yeah, man. It kind of reminds me of like the whole, and like because it looks very combat orientated, that form, and I think it's very well suited. I mean, like we said for like Angoramon's Mega, the callback to that sword episode, and like it was buried in context, so we like it. To me, it kind of reminds me of the the Tesla Jellymon debut actually, when it's like in the video game, like the fighting, like doing. Yeah. So it kind of reminds me of like the very video gamey type. I don't know. It just kind of fits with everything that Jaymon's been doing so far.
Yeah, I think it's a nice note, and also if we're talking about that kind of like human element, Jellymon obviously wouldn't need a diving suit to dive, but like Kyoshiro would. So again, that kind of feels almost like design-wise that kind of like mix of the human and the Digimon resulting in something unique. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Amphimon. I think it would go. It's S for me for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with S. There was a goat tier.
I think I like Angoramon's Mega more, and so just on this tier list, it makes it hard for me to say it's S if Angoramon's Mega is A, but it's definitely like I'm being outvoted, and that's totally fine. Because if it's two people saying S and one people saying A, I think it's still worthy of S. So.
Yeah, it would, for me it would maybe like S there, yeah. Just everyone imagine that it's here, but it's
lower S.
Yeah. And that brings us to the we'll talk about Siriusmon on its own because we've actually had its debut and stuff, and then we'll be a little bit more loosey goosey about the last three. How are we feeling about Siriusmon?
Wasn't keen when I first saw the images, like many things with Digimon. The kind of reference book images are never really like the most flattering. Seeing the anime debut, I thought it was super sick. Like I got that really kind of like giddy kid like Digimon feeling. It's like the comebacks on sort of thing. Like it wasn't cringy lines. It was like, it was so worth having Siriusmon on the screen like that. It was really complimenting of its design. I do think it played it super safe, looking like Omegamon, or many people say Gammamon and stuff, but like it definitely leans. More people will know Omegamon, someone will say Omegamon. Like it's safe, but it works.
The only thing I have to say about it is I had a funny arc where similarly I thought the Digimon reference art was cool, but I didn't fall in love with it. And then my favorite version actually was the card art we saw. There's like a really cool art of it for the trading card game. And then when the show came around, it still looks awesome. There's a couple frames that just really pushed it and made him look rad as hell. But the thing I liked about the card art that I didn't really get in the show was that like Super Sentai Kamen Rider angle where it looked like the stuff under his armor felt like a Power Rangers suit. With armor on top, like in like Lost Galaxy or any of those shows when like later in the series it'd get, or even just
like a battleizer.
Or just the original Green Ranger had some armor on top. That was the vibe I got, and I thought that was super cool. And then I didn't really see that in the anime. I liked it was there with the transforming gun blades and the cape and stuff like that. But if I had anything to, complain about in the anime debut, I was like, what happened to the Kamen Rider Super Sentai thing? That was dope.
Yeah, that would have been nice to see more of that. For me, Siriusmon is a good design. I think it works well as a Gammamon Mega, but it's nothing I haven't seen before.
Very safe.
Yeah, aside from those like gun blades, which I think is a really fun concept, where it's like gun. Yeah. It's almost like a combination of Blitz Greymon and Crescarurumon in some ways.
Totally.
But yeah, like the comparisons to other like half the Royal Knights, I don't think is unfair. And from again, because while Ghost Game is episodic, right? It's been said to death. There are themes in the design, and this is true of Kane of Icemon too, that feel like they're supposed to be this overcoming of the Gulu's personality. Yeah. And it's just not happened, and that again is disappointing to me. They've gained a form that is at odds with where the actual characters are in the show. Yeah.
And so to have it happen twice with Ultimate and Mega, where we just completely sidestepped and ignored what's going on with the Dark Gulus form, is a little puzzling. But as a design, I think he's great. I think it's definitely safe. I wish it wasn't so Royal Knighty, like you said, Karn.
It's got weird features.
Superhero Power Ranger thing, but he's good.
That's weird features for me, like.
The face is different. Yeah, it feels there's like Jessmon is one that I feel like it feels weirdly similar to in that kind of like
yeah.
And there's like the glowing like striations on its body. I'm like, if that was like somehow linked to like the Gulus Gammamon glowing striations on its body, that would have made the form a lot cooler and logically followed for me. But it just kind of happened, and like, does it mean anything? Like.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think maybe looking at these next three, there may be some of that ends up happening. But for Siriusmon, for me, I would put it at like high B, low A. I don't know where you guys are at.
Yeah, I would lean towards the low A, but I wouldn't object to B.
Honestly, I could go 50-50 on high B or low A. It's just the thing that does it that doesn't do it for me is just like it's not like adventurous enough.
Yeah, I'll put it above Plutomon Master. So then that brings us to our last three, who again we can't really super fairly judge at this stage. So I guess we'll just talk a little bit more about like the conceptual coolness, the potential, and then what we can glean from the designs, which is Regulusmon, Arcturusmon, and Proximamon.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm okay on the concept thing. I find the fact that Gulus Gammamon has evolutions in the first place baffling.
Yeah, agreed.
Because we've been given absolutely no reason to think that he's going to lose to anything, or even to the fact to have like a reason to evolve at all.
Yeah.
If he's so strong, right? It's only episode 13 he was breaking through the vital bracelet like pocket dimension thing, and it's like, well, that's a real high feat of strength already early in the series, and then like. Just kind of proceed to smoke everything else, and then that's it. There's no challenge for him.
The thing that legitimately concerns me twofold is that the level of threat that they're going to have to cram in at like the 60 episode mark.
Exactly.
To warrant not just one, but two Gulus Gammamon Evos is kind of crazy. The flip side of that is that we've all been not using our brain, and when that person said Gammamon Evos, they were including Regulusmon and Arcturusmon. that just aren't going to be in the show, which is like a theoretical possibility. I think unlikely because of Proximamon, but then Proximamon...
I was shocked to hear that it not only one evolution. I was like, damn, that's going to be super OP, and it had 2. And then there was something beyond that.
It's interesting to me that Proximamon seems to be this combination of like Siriusmon and Arcturusmon, at least on the B memory. And do we think that's going to be like, is Goulus going to split off, or is this going to be like an internal battle? You know,
I feel that potentially that's the direction they could go. Is that they have some moment where Goulus somehow breaks free of like the Gammamon identity, and then we literally have a battle between Siriusmon and Goulus Gammamon. I kind of like that Regulusmon is like a dark mirror version of Kano Weissmon. I like him a lot. And then what is it called again?
Arcturusmon, yeah.
I like him less, but it's also just because the pixel art is such a mess. Hard for me.
For me, I really like Regulusmon too, and like you say, because of that kind of Kano Weissmon thing. They're also, and again, it's so hard with the limited images we've got. It feels like something is affecting, and this is again, I had my whole trio merge theory that's been BTFO'd. It does feel like each of these new evolutions, like Diabitmon, Proximamon, and then Arcturusmon, I think probably the most, feels like something outside has influenced them. Like, I could make a case for Zubamon for Diabitmon. I could, and like Regulusmon could have some Zanmetsumon if that does end up being a Ryudamon evolution. So like, there's all this potential, but we've been burnt so many times on potential that just like Kano Weissmon and Siriusmon that it's hard to be like, oh, if this is the case, that makes it one tier higher.
It kind of feels like they had these forms introduced to kind of further drive the narrative of like Goulus Gammamon does it better.com. And like, here's how. And it's like got exactly the same form of Kano Weissmon and Regulusmon, the same thing as Siriusmon and Arcturusmon, but they just swapped the weapons out. So like with Regulusmon, he's got a shield, I think. Is that a shield?
It looks like some kind of shield on his...
Which is kind of weirdly cool, considering how aggressive Goulus Gammamon has a shield. And an Arcturusmon having like 2 drill hands. Obviously, the Gundam boy's gonna love this one.
Current Legan people too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, then there's Proximamon, which has got this massive axe with like clearly a face of something in it. And there's honestly, so much could happen with Proximamon. I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, that's kind of...
I actually don't know.
And that's why obviously these rankings are kind of pretty fallible, because we are at this stage with these 3 specifically. And is there any other notes you've got, Corey?
I don't know if I want to save this for myself. I have this stupid prediction, which is like so dumb.
I'll cut it, but I'd like to hear it.
Yeah. So you were asking like, does Goulus Gammamon split, and do these guys come about from a split? But with all the silly Espimon stuff about the fake hero Amano Okawa, and in the last episode, Kazuhamon, like the dark Sukuyamon looking Digimon, was like, oh, so this is what's possible with their bond. Maybe this is what the person who sent us here wants. I'm like, oh no, is there actually going to be like a clone hero, which I think would be kind of silly? And if there is, will somebody split Gammamon and then use the clone hero to like create Regulusmon and then create Arcturusmon and then have that fight?
That sounds like one of the more boring things they could do, which is why I think it's probably what's going to happen.
You could
very dumb.
Because you not just say like, instead of like the copied hero, have like it be his father, like in that context, like the reason why he's there is to explore like
the
what
father
power they can get from.
The father heel turn is something that I think has been like is something I've been thinking about for a while, but would just suck so much ass. Yeah. I'm also wondering if, because like how the digital world makes like an overgrown, fucked up version of the real world. It would be interesting if like Hero's dad, by going into the digital world, accidentally created like Shadow Hero, and so like him, and then Shadow Hero's partner was Gammamon and was Goulus Gammamon, and then he like took Gammamon away. Or maybe like, how like in Digimon World, when you go back to an egg, you can have 2 Digimon come out of it. What if there's just another Gammamon?
Something I was thinking was like, with Hero's father going to the digital world, then sending Gammamon back, and all of your Digimon from the digital world know who Ghost Gammamon is. Now he's like the Black Tyrant King, whatever. It kind of feels like Ghost Gammamon like was like the Don of the digital world at that point.
Yeah.
Where he was like a necessary evil to hold something else back.
And that evil is Betsumon.
And it's Betsumon, exactly. But obviously with Ghost Gammamon being removed and being now Gammamon and in the real world, that thing, whatever's festering in the digital world, might just kind of come out of nowhere. So, I mean, it literally will come out, or have to come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, for me, I would say, and like I say, I've stressed that those rankings are sort of almost temporary, and maybe we can revisit them at the end of 2023. For me, I would say Regulusmon is the least eye-hurty to look at as a sprite, which generally probably means that it's a probably stronger design when it's done as actual art as well. So for me, that would be like an A, I reckon, probably higher than Siriusmon.
I agree. I put it higher than Siriusmon.
You know what else I like? I don't know if I'm just imagining this because the pixel art's kind of small too, but it almost looks like he's still wearing the scarf around his neck, and I think that rules as like a FU, like kind of a.
Yeah.
Like I remember how cute I used to be. Like now I'm this demonic.
Look at me now, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. And I still have my cute little scarf. I think that rocks.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna posit something to you here, fellas. I'm gonna say it might be tied with Amphimon.
Okay.
You know what?
I won't fight you.
Providing on the debut, you can be completely right.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's currently tied with Amphimon. If it's mid as fuck in the show, it gets knocked down.
Yeah.
And then. So obviously we have our like thoughts and stuff. I would say, for me, I would just put Arcturusmon and Proximamon around high B because that feels like the most fair because we don't know enough about them. I think Proximamon is cool conceptually because we've never had, other than like sort of in the dream world of 02, a Jogress or a DNA Digivolution of the same Digimon in a show.
Yeah.
That axe thing is so interesting.
It is, isn't it? You know, I can't I can't bring myself to rank Arcturusmon and Proximamon like any higher than like a low B.
Yeah.
Because I just hate the fact they exist. Because just like narratively speaking, of like Hero having such like close contact with Gammamon, like bonding, like even getting to Siriusmon in the first place. How is Ghost Gammamon going to evolve to those forms without having partnered with Hero? Which implies that Hero has to resonate with Ghost Gammamon, which kind of contradicts why they got to Siriusmon in the first place.
Yeah, that's why I think it has to be a thing where they like split. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean, man.
Fights Kano, and then Proximamon fights Arcturusmon. Or sorry, not Proximamon. Siriusmon fights Arcturusmon.
Yeah.
Maybe Arcturusmon gets the upper hand and like forces a fusion into Proximamon.
Yeah, it feels like those black Digimon are going to capture Gammamon, like in the dark of night, and then somehow split Gammamon into two to retrieve Ghost Gammamon.
They're gonna like put him on like a Frankenstein's monster rank and
Honestly, that's the only way I can see it. Like the evolution's making sense narratively speaking.
I think I want to rank Proximamon higher than Arcturusmon.
Agreed.
So if that means like B for Proxima and C for Arcturus, I'm okay with that. Something about Arcturus just doesn't work for me, like the drill hands. I know it's kind of a reflection of
it doesn't
Arcturusmon's
feel
gun blades, but
yeah, it doesn't feel step up enough from Regulusmon, and it doesn't feel. I know this is very school ground, but it feels less cool than Regulusmon.
Regulusmon's shield like kind of seems cool because it come across as like tactful, like which Ghost Gammamon is like fights intelligently rather than like just all out. I'm gonna repeat a shreds with 2 drills kind of vibe. It doesn't really give me that. It just kind of gives me like I'm going to use all my tools to best their ability rather than overdoing it.
Yeah. So for me, I think I would agree with Corey's stance of like right now.
Yeah, that's
it's a C, and then a low B for Proximamon.
Yep,
I'm okay with that.
Right. Well, I'm sure no one will have any umbrage with these rankings.
No, these are objective, guys. No, these exactly. There's no debating here. Listen, to the viewers, like my deepest condolences when you have to argue with the wall. This one, it's just this will not change. I'm sorry.
Apart from when the show goes out, and then we'll change it completely.
It could change when we get better art and context and animation. But
Yeah, totally.
But that's the Ghost Game Evo rankings for now. Is there anything you'd like to say at the end of the year to the people?
So hope everyone has a great end of the year, enjoys the holidays. Just enjoy Ghost Game for what it is, no matter what. We might be frustrated, but you don't have to care. It's still cool seeing all the new debuts, the new mons, like how certain episodes unfold, and just enjoy it whilst we've got it, really.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like in the last few weeks for me, it's sounding like I really dislike the show, and it's not true. I like Digimon and I like Ghost Game, and it's just you can like something and also want it to be better, and I don't think that should be so controversial.
There's definitely a lot of heat for no reason.
Yeah, so enjoy it. Don't get upset when other people aren't enjoying it to the same degree as you are, and I don't know. Yeah, let's just hope it goes out on a high note. I personally think Adventure 2020 did. I thought like the last stretch of episodes were really fun and satisfying. So let's just hope the same thing happens for
for sure.
And either way, Digimon Karn in February is gonna be great.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah,
4 a.m. in the morning. Let's go.
I'm gonna be in America, so it's actually gonna be a reasonable time for me. Thank
All right,
God.
just me. 4 a.m. in the morning. Let's go, me.
Let's
better
go.
bring back the host.
Yeah, if I don't hear Digimon the whole time, I'm gonna kick off.
Yeah, it's gonna be a sad day.